All right, what's going on, guys? This is Dante. Another episode of Why Date. Welcome. It's a Sunday. It is hot. I know it feels like we're summer, but it's spring still. So I got myself on here. I have Madre. I wish I could call you Madre. I mean, I don't know if you still want to be called Alpha Monk anymore, but
it doesn't matter, man.
Got Aunt Shirley on here and Kylie on here. So, yes, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning on the live stream, guys. And this episode is going to be about dating perception. I know, we'll still try to keep in tune with what's going on. I know right now, currently, the world's going through a lot of things going on. A lot of things are happening. You know, we're also going to look into that. That's what's going on. We're not going to ignore that, what's happening out there. So I know we had to talk about that for a good amount of time on our group chat. So hopefully everyone's staying safe out there. And I'm not sure. Definitely hope if you guys are on here, appreciate it. If you guys aren't protesting or anything like that. So, but this is gonna be about the dating perception and pretty much what it means. I know I've talked about a few episodes or a few seasons back. We did talk about it, but I want to bring it up again. The perception is, I know it's, I guess it's expectation. I made some notes here. We're going to wing it, but I do want to keep it some structure here a little bit. Our dating perceptions really, are there really dating perceptions, or is this person just really not into you? Like pretty much the term, I know that Aunt Shirley said something about lazy dating.
Yeah.
I never heard that before. That was new to me. I guess the term lazy dating is, you made a post about something about married men talking to you instead of single men actually pursuing you.
Yeah.
So
it was a bigger point about courting. Like single dudes just don't court anymore. They just hit you with the what you doing randomly and think that's
I should do in these times.
Well, what's courting to you? What is the actual general courting?
Courting is okay. So for me, I like consistency and frequency in activities. So doing things together, painting, going to see a movie, going out, just putting each other in certain situations where I'm getting to know you better and you're getting to know me better. But if you just hit me with the WID at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're not trying to court. And I feel single guys don't court anymore.
It's like, you up?
Yeah.
Oh wait.
I think I would say, I wouldn't generalize and say single guys don't court. I think fuckboys don't court, and there's a lot more fuckboys out there than actual single men. So you're probably just running into a lot of fuckboys. That sounds like a fuckboy.
Say that to me.
So now that you said that, Margaret, I want to talk about the buzzwords. Buzzwords gonna be fuckboys.
Oh, that's good part.
Oh, so fuckboys is gonna be the word. F boys, whatever you guys call it. You guys say that word. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. Before I go into this topic too, before we go into a whole big conversation here, you guys weren't on the last episode, so I know I had the fam band on here. I had
the twins.
Pretty much. I had brother and sister on here, but you guys want to add into that? Because I know it was pretty much about, what was it about? Childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can briefly talk about it. I know it's a personal topic for a lot of people, but
what about it?
Add to it. Can.
What about the childhood then?
Childhood experiences does it affect your dating currently?
I've always was told that men always try to find traits of their mother in every woman.
Yeah.
And women try to find the same traits of every man. Or if a woman grew up without a father, then she would be more affectionate. She'll be more, I hate the word clingy, but she would be when she finds a good man or a man that's close, resembling her father. And then, you know, vice versa with the man too. Like if his mother was like really overbearing or she was a helicopter mom, he would try to find a woman who was really controlling and a lot more nurturing. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that in both things. Like I've never really looked for it. My mom is mixed with Russian and black. So I've dated mixed girls, but they're kind of crazy to me. So every single one I've dated has been crazy. So I kind of leave them alone. So I don't really date mixed girls anymore.
All women crazy.
So
anyway.
yeah. So I don't know.
Terrible.
But I believe there are traits, like things that happen to you when it comes to whatever that you're dating, opposite sex or same sex, whatever. I think there are things that happen to you in your childhood that go all the way to your adulthood, just like everything, you know. So there has to be, yeah.
For sure. I think I totally agree with Mondre or Alpha Monk on that. Your childhood teaches you how to love, and your relationship with your parents like kind of set that foundation. So if your father was absent and you're a child and you internalize that as like being your fault, when you enter relationships, you might have a fear that the men that come to you will abandon you. And you might do certain things to kind of like make sure that they don't leave, like being extra clingy or even pushing them away before they leave. And you'll find that you'll be having the same experience with every man you meet. And it's not the men's fault. It's really just like you haven't healed from certain things that happened to you in childhood, and you're projecting it onto every man. So I totally agree. Like childhood kind of sets the tone for how you were valued and how you also like value others. And that's why it's really important, I think, for men to be active in their daughters' lives and women to be kind of to allow men to be men, to not coddle their sons. Because when they get out there and they're adults, you know, they're just going to repeat certain patterns.
That's true.
Yeah. I agree.
On top of what Mondre and Shirley were saying, I totally agree because I experienced it myself. I haven't seen my father in almost 20 years. So I do feel like I am I am afraid of being abandoned when it comes to being in a relationship. So whenever I am in one, I try to I kind of lose like myself in the other person. I kind of try to mold myself in my image of the perfect girl for this man that I'm with, just so like, oh, he would never want to leave me because I'm perfect in my mind for him. So I would try to like everything that he likes, you know, that kind of thing, like try to get into whatever he's into, just so like, oh, why would he ever want to leave me? Because like, you know, I'm perfect for him, you know, and then I would like lose myself in the process. So when we're broken up, like, I don't know like who I am. Like, am I me, or am I just like this person that I made up just to please this other person?
Yeah. Ooh.
Like I'm kind of the same way. Like I was raised by my grandparents at 3 months. My mom was only 15. She just turned 15 in March, and then I was born in May. So they saw, obviously, 15-year-old cannot take care of a child. So she was never really around. They just took me, adopted me, and my dad was never really around. So didn't really care too much because my grandfather was there and my grandmother was there, but I did know at a very early age that they weren't my parents. So that did kind of set things aside and let me see, but anyway, make a long story short, that I've always had an abandonment issue with women leaving and not knowing my worth, because my mom would do that. So in relationships, what I've saw is I would give or show the best of me, and women would fall for that, and then I would give them distance. I would put them at a distance. So I would show them this great part of me, all these great traits, and let them have it, let them taste it, all these things. And then I would start to distance myself a little, because to me it was like, well, now you see how great it is. Now you see how great I can be for you and everything. I don't know if I can give you that, because you just might end up abandoning me anyway. So I just keep you at an arm's length. And, more and more every time, I do that. And the longer it does, it usually just fizzles out, or it just, end up ghosting them or some shit like that, or, causing some kind of mayhem that it'll end in the long run. So it's
Yeah.
it's been a trip, but I've been working on it.
Yeah, and I've experienced that as well, and it's almost like you feel, it's almost like when that happens, you're like, see, I already knew it was going to happen. See, this is why I have my boundaries. See, this is why I cope this way, because I already knew you were going to act like that.
Yeah.
Right? And the problem is, it's like we don't even realize that we are subconsciously re-choosing people who remind us.
We subconsciously co-create that. Co-created
Exactly.
in that relationship every time, and don't know, and then we blame it on them because we're like, see, you did act this way. Just like
exactly.
it's like, shit, I didn't know that I co-manifested that shit just by
exactly.
That's a trip.
Mhm.
So, but the cool thing is like we're aware of it, right? It's different when you're just like you're in that reactive state. When you're able to be like conscious of it and analyze it, you give yourself the power again to choose differently.
Well, it's okay to be a victim. See, I think a lot of people right now, they're scared to be a victim because people are judgmental. It's okay to be a victim, but you shouldn't rely on the victimhood. You shouldn't stay a victim. It's okay to feel it, experience it, go through the emotions of it, and learn from it, and then just grow from there on.
Yeah.
So, it's okay, accept that. I think that's part of it, of the path of becoming one with yourself, understanding yourself, being self-aware, is just understanding your pains, your flaws, and accepting them, and then just growing from them, learning from them.
I agree. I agree. I think you said that.
It's the first
really
episode
well.
everyone agrees with each other. For now.
Vibing, man.
For now. We'll see once this topic starts. It may change. Continue.
Dante in the corner rubbing his hands together like good.
Wait for something to pop off, man.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But all right. So I'm glad you guys had some different inputs on it. It's good to see that. That's why I always typically have recaps, because some people want to add to it. And if you guys want to tune into that last episode, it's also on there too. It got pretty deep. So I learned a lot from it. So it was a little vulnerable side of me. So if you guys want to see a little vulnerable side of Dante, it's on that last episode. Which I don't really do much often. All right. So now we're going to talk about perception. And now let's go back to this lazy dating thing, because you said something about that. We're going to let you slide on that one. What do you feel? Like, what do you mean by you guys, or this is what it is? You guys are lazy. What is that? Now I'm not. You felt very adamant about it. It's before.
Do you guys remember that episode where Markel was like, the best game that I've ever received was, if a woman likes you, you'll know. Like, you don't have to do the most, because you'll know that she likes you.
Yeah.
Okay. My whole thing is, when I like a man, he knows. And I put in the work so he knows. What does that mean? I'll show up. First of all, I put in effort in my appearance, so wherever we go, like, people are looking at him because he's with a beautiful lady. I cook. I'm there for him, like, just I'm there for him throughout the day to, like, listen to him. I try to understand who he is as a man. I like doing things whatever he likes to do. So, like, if he's into, like, hockey, like, I'll get us, like, hockey game tickets. Like, if he's into, like, video games, like, I don't know, I'm just down as fuck. I want him to know that I'm into him, and I want to show him that like I like you. And it doesn't really come it doesn't really, like, it just happens naturally, right? I feel like with men, though, they don't do that. Even if they do like you, they act like you don't mean anything. And then, like, it's weird. It's like, even the more they like you, the more distant they'll become. The more they'll be like, oh, like, I don't really fuck with you like that. Like, we'll see where things go. But, like,
that is a term. That is a sentence of choice.
I don't know, right? And I'm just like, it just boggles my mind, because, like, I'm putting all this effort in, and you're putting this much in, but you expect me to, like, be exclusive to you only, right? While we're dating.
Right.
But then I often have the experience where like I meet a guy and he's like right off the back, like, what's your number? We're going to dinner on Friday. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to do all this. And then like, just like you start talking to them, you find out they have like a girlfriend. And I just don't get it. Like, I don't get why taken dudes put in more effort than like single dudes or,
So like
the word.
so like
Almost said it.
So it's like, it's crazy.
Men who are in relationships, right?
Yeah.
The reason they're doing all that stuff so they can get you in bed faster.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know they're gonna indulge you and take you out and do all these things because it'll work a little bit faster than it is if they take their time and try to actually be with you, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then the other guys, if they give you too much, it's been shown and seen. If we give you too much, you're gonna back away. We can't give you too much. No, it's been seen. We can't give you too much. We have to give you little by little. It's until we know that we have your entire heart.
Yeah.
That you let go of the rest of the other niggas. That's when we'll start to give you more. That's the only time we'll start to give you more. Until then, we're just gonna give you inch by inch because it's
Inch
in our
by inch is always a cinch.
not to give you more because we can't do that because at any point we can go over the line with you guys because we can't see the line. Only you can see the line. So like I could be with a girl and I'm giving her a little bit, and that's keeping her there and that's keeping her wanting more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. But if I at one point give her way too much attention one day, if I cross that line a little bit too far, I might lose her. I might get a disinterest. It's been shown, it's been seen too many times, especially when you're starting to date. So you have to give little by little. You just have to. Now, in those little inches, you can show effort in a bigger scale. You don't have to just be like, how you doing? And then just, don't text her like another 6 hours. No. In those little small increments, you can do something pretty much memorable that'll keep her there and keep her wanting to go back. That's what I do. But, every man is different. You know what I'm saying?
Inch by,
So you're basically saying like, oh, I'm just gonna keep feeding you crumbs and like I'm hungry,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you the full meal because
you know the term. You know
Think
the
of it this way. Think of it this way. Like
What Kylie said.
think of it like a map, right? You have breadcrumbs. And every so often, you'll get to a destination. That destination is a date. Breadcrumbs, date. Breadcrumbs, a date, right? So once we've been intimate, then you get a little bit more. And then once I start to get more emotional, we start to get more feelings in there. And then you one day tell me you're in love, and that's when you'll have all of the effort. That's when you get the full gift right off the back. That's crazy. That's insane. That's not how it works.
The term we always usually use is called what? Inch by an inch is always a cinch, right? So, like, like, you know what I mean? Gabe asked a question here. He said, what was he saying? Hold on. Is the bar set too much if you get a girl a gift off the back? Because he said a girl switch and she freaked out.
I like getting flowers. On the first date, I've received flowers, right? And I loved that. You don't have to go like over the top, but if you're just showing that you're being considerate of a woman, like that makes you stand out versus like all the other guys who are, what are you doing her like throughout her entire day?
How long did he last? The guy who brought you the flowers his first date?
Okay, you know what? We don't have, okay. So wait, hold on.
I was about to say something.
So we had gone on 3 more dates, and then by the 4th date, he was like, I want to be in a relationship, and I was not. I was
he was a simp, so it was just.
You know what? See, no. All I'm saying is I paid more attention. Is what I'm saying. I paid more attention.
I think you would pay more attention if the guy didn't give you anything, but he gave you like one nice compliment at the end of the night, and he made it interesting through that date. Though he made it interesting, made you laugh, made you think, and you went home and you thought about him. But he gave you just one small compliment at the end of the night. I think that would be more than those flowers would, right?
You want me to accept the breadcrumbs, and I won't.
You've fallen for him before. That's why you just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, if
Let
you're
her
gonna
love
get a gift for a girl on the very first date, then it has to be subtle. Like flowers are good. Like don't
Yeah.
like go all out and
Mm.
buy her like jewelry or whatever.
Don't listen to them,
No.
gentlemen. Don't listen to them. Do not buy gifts.
I learned that to never do that.
I mean,
shit.
we're just saying this
Wait.
from a woman's perspective, you know?
Yeah.
So
Nah,
Mm.
man,
like,
fuck
we
that.
kind of
And
know.
don't listen to
Listen,
a woman's
okay.
perspective about
Hold
another
on.
woman. So just let it go.
Wow. Do
I've-
you hear that?
I've done what I can. I did the whole spiel. I did the whole shit back in high school. The whole like romantic.
Exactly. Same here. We've already
You know what I
done
mean?
it. We already
Like if that
experienced
shit
it.
didn't
Doesn't
fly.
We're
You know,
adults
High school,
now.
these are high school girls, okay?
Yeah, we're
nah,
women
nah,
now.
man. Same thing.
I'm
Same
pretty
rule
sure
still
there are guys out
applies.
there in their 20s and 30s that have experienced the same thing. They bought girls gifts. They told them they're pretty, all this shit at the first date and didn't get anywhere. Then some guy comes around, he doesn't give her a compliment at all for like 2 months. Then he gives her a nice compliment one day and she's just like butter. It happens all the time. It's just
Okay, but that's only because you set the standard so low that when you actually give that compliment, it's like, oh my God, like he actually noticed me, right? Like it's the lack of effort that you've been consistently doing that has made her like actually be like, oh wow, what
Yeah.
changed?
yeah, you
That's
feel great when it happens,
terrible.
right?
Yeah, you like
It's great when
deprive
it
her for so long.
I
and
know.
oh, there it is at the end.
I like to do it on random times, just mess their head up. Like what? Wait,
happens randomly
6 months,
out of nowhere,
months.
you know.
They don't extend it.
God.
Valentine's. I might not even do it on Valentine's. I'll wait the day after or a week after. All right, here you go,
Wow.
Valentine's.
That's terrible.
Mess with their head. She's like, oh, I just don't know with them. So, yeah, some
Okay, I
questions.
will say this. I think I do like there's a game, right? There's a game. And you don't want someone to like give you everything like straight up. So yeah, there is a game. However, when I'm talking about lazy dating, I'm talking about like just being really like shallow in texting, not really talking that much, expecting someone to just like come over and like hang out with you like late at night and like think that's a date, and versus someone who's actually putting in the effort, who's like willing to play the game with you.
Well, guys are kind of simple when it comes to conversation. It's just if it's interesting or not. And that's being honest. Like if you're not talking about something that we're not interested in, like if you're talking about the Kardashians show or you're talking about what your homegirl's going through, we don't want to hear it. We don't give a fuck.
No.
If we're talking about something we're both interested in, we're mutually interested in, like a movie, or if we're both interested in sports, or we're both interested in something, food, or whatever. I think that's when the conversations can go for hours on end when there's interest. And I think a lot of ladies they try to take the boyfriend as the girlfriend for the gossip part, and we don't vibe that way. I usually tell a lot of girlfriends and friends with benefits, like, I'm not the emotional gossiper, so please don't come to me for that. Like, you have girlfriends for that. Like, because if you come to me for that, I'll try my hardest not to, but I will try to help you in that situation.
Or they'll just give you that. Did you look at my nails? Did you see my nails? You see this? Can you believe what happened? Like I can't have that kind of conversation with you.
It's a lot of
talk
things
about
they want to talk about. They want to vent on, and it's like, I get that, babe. I get that, but you gotta have girlfriends for that.
I was like, I don't know.
I'm supposed to be, the one that keeps you elevated, the one that keeps you happy, the one that keeps you having fun and interesting and shit like that, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
I can't have that.
I'm supposed to be the aid in your happiness. Right? I can't help you. I can't make you happy, and I can't really do things to make you happy, but I can aid in that. So that's part of the interest. And if you want your boyfriend or your lover or whatever if you want to continue talking to him throughout the day, you want more text, then you have to text about shit that he's interested in, that that he'll reply to, that he'll immediately reply to and keep interesting, and vice versa. You can't just always say like, hey, what's up? How's your day? Because everybody's gonna say the same type of shit. It's okay, cool. What'd you do? What'd you eat? Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to talk about work.
Yeah.
Okay, but then how do you show a woman you're interested in her then? If you're
I try to find out what she's interested in life, and then I try to vibe with that.
Her nails,
like
hair.
Her nails.
Yeah, she's gonna talk about her nails all day.
Shit, like I said, did I vibe with? Did I vibe with? That's what I mean.
What should I change my color?
I would vibe with. So like, what does she watch on the regular? Like the homegirl that I've been seeing and stuff. My friends with benefits. She's into a lot of well, we haven't had that much benefits, but because of quarantine. But she's into a lot of like police procedurals and crime shows, and I always tease her about being a serial killer and stuff like that. So when I clown and stuff, I bring that type of stuff up, you know. Or she has a dog, so we talk about dogs, and I just know that stuff like that. Anything that keeps her interested instead of talking about, you know, just mundane daily shit, you know, because
They mean no small talk, basically.
yeah, that's dumb. Small, especially after you know the person. Now, if you just get to know them, then, you know, yeah, how's your day going will be interesting because you don't know shit what's going on with their day. You know, that's getting to know them. But if you've known them for a while, you've been dating for a couple of months, then you should know enough to keep shit interesting, keep shit going. You know, you're supposed to elevate each other mentally. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, you're supposed to. You know, to challenge each other, but not in a negative way.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. It should be a puzzle for each other. You know, trying to get each other, get to know each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So someone had a question too. They said, going back to Gabe's question, he said, "Where's the conversation of what you are both looking for, though? Where's it? I guess he asked, where's the conversation, or when does it happen, or I can't. Have you guys? He's kind of confused me with this question. Does that make sense? No.
I mean, I don't know. I usually wait for the woman to say that she's in love with me. I'm very
See, I go ahead in. I go ahead in. I'm different.
Very long. Like my ex that I was with for a few years that I was married, my ex-wife. It took me 7 to 8 months. I think 8 months to tell her I loved her. It took me a while, man.
Yeah.
Did you say it first, though?
No, she said it first. She said it in the second month.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I go head in, bro. Like, I don't even, like, if I get rejection, I'm like, all right, well, I learned from it, and I just, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm interested in someone, I let them know for sure. I was just talking to my boy about this earlier today. I was like, honestly, man, if you know what the fuck you want to a girl, like, it's like 80% chance like they're gonna be like, okay, like, I mean, he actually knows what he's interested in me. He's definitely showing that he's interested, because they're not gonna, because women like to question it. They like to go, is he interested in me? I don't know.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Right? So it's just like, if you like straight up say, yo, girl, like, I'm interested. Like, what's good? Like, what's the next move? Like, you mean, like, if they're not interested in me, I'm like, all right, well, that's like 20%. Like, usually they're just like, okay, he's legit. Okay.
Now, I haven't asked a girl if she was my girlfriend or be my girlfriend since I was like 15, I think. Like, my actions show. And I'm loyal, so I don't fuck around. So my actions show that I'm different from 2 weeks ago from today. Like, I'm treating you differently. I'm more affectionate. I'm more compassionate towards you. You know, we make love differently. Something has changed. Something has switched up. And then usually they'll ask me, you know, what's going on with us? And I'm like, yeah, you're my girl. And then I would just go off from there. But I never really had to have that conversation like, what are we, or what are we trying to go for? Because I think it's just like marriage, man. When you set a boundary or a box around it, subconsciously people just want to flee it. They just do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why it took them so long to study that with marriage. You know, once you sign that wage saying you guys are locked in together, you're telling your subconscious you're locked into something. And our minds want to be free. You know, we want to be free. It's not that we want to cheat or do anything like that. That's not what it means. But subconsciously you'll start to like get kind of fearful and anxious after that. They have shown it, like they've done studies before marriage and after marriage, and it always says huge percentage of decline, like right after the honeymoon. And it's like it's that subconscious trying to free yourself. And I think because a lot of people, like, they've studied like the gay community before they became married. Like, a lot of them just stayed with each other for like years upon years, just like our grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, with no marriage whatsoever.
Yeah.
You add in marriage, and now they're starting to get divorced too.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, I think
So, okay, sorry, I interrupt. So, question actually, someone's asking you, since you're bringing up the wife situation. He said, would you do it again? Would you marry or be with a Middle Eastern? Like, he said Pakistani Muslim.
I would get married again, but I wouldn't get married within the government. I would have the ceremony and all that shit, but I wouldn't do the paperwork.
Oh, we already know what
made rings and everything, so it would be more of a spiritual, symbolic marriage, and it wouldn't be anything for the government and shit like that. She's not okay with that, then she's not the one. So.
He also mentioned what made it not work out. We all know that. I mean, I know that why it didn't work out.
What?
The first time with your ex-wife.
Oh, well, that's private, so It wasn't,
We all know
I would
that.
say this. I would say this. It had nothing to do with love. It had more to do with family issues. Like her mom. Well, basically, her mom was on her deathbed, and she's from Israel.
Yeah.
So we were married for 2.5 years, and she was here on a school visa. She was finishing school and everything, so she was getting her green card at the same time. And and it wasn't a green card marriage because she was doing that way before we got married. So a lot of people ask that, but it wasn't that. And where her mom has diabetes, and then they found out she had cancer, and she's on her deathbed. So it was either she stay here with me and finish out her green card in her school, or she leaves and it sets up a red flag with the immigration, and then she would have to stay there for a good lot of time. And that's what she ultimately chose. So it took us a few months to choose that, but that's what happened. I still keep in contact with her. I talked to her the other day. She sent me a birthday gift, all that type of stuff.
Aww.
So,
What we get,
it's one of those future options that, once she can come back in, who knows what happens. So.
Yeah. So I know. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Angela. I knew you had something you had to say, like right before I jumped in the question.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
My bad. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay. Well, hopefully I answered your question, Manish, because I guess he wanted out. No, because Muslim people come from. He said Muslim people come with the stereotype that we are boring because we don't know how to have fun. So that's why he asked. Yeah. So
I don't think they're boring.
I don't think that. I've dated a Pakistani girl and I've dated
turn up,
Israeli, Pakistani girl, Lebanese girl, Egyptian girl, two Indian chicks. Is that it?
I don't know.
I think that's it. Yeah, so I've dated Muslims before, and they know how to have fun.
Yeah.
It's just their families, man, their grandparents. That's the battle right there. That's the hurdle to get over. Yeah.
Okay. So I know I talked about it way back, like about expectations. I know we kind of touched lightly on the expectations. Is there a difference in someone's expectation, or should there be a standardization of what like someone should do, so they're not quote unquote lazy dating? I mean, like to me, I feel like sometimes, like we talked about, like if they're really being lazy about it, they're really pretty much sometimes they're just not interested. Usually guys are pretty straightforward about that. But I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for every guy. But like is there a certain meaning of like there's I'm asking like multiple questions because I have a whole bunch of things I've had top of my head that I wanted to say and I keep forgetting during conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But all that kind of makes sense. Like, should there be, I guess, like, everyone has their own expectations, but should there be a standard way to proceed, or what would you guys think that will be in moving forward? I guess if you want to tell somebody, okay, if you're going to be interested in somebody, this is what you need to do. Or if you're not, that's what you need to do too. That makes sense.
That makes sense. What you were saying reminded me a lot of like a lot of women on my timeline saying like, if a dude takes you out and he doesn't spend at least $200 on a date, then he's a bum. Like, don't even pay attention to him, right? And so, like, I started thinking about how women want to feel like they matter or like they're worthy in like a guy's mind, and especially because like I think men have so much opportunity to like have a girl who has sex with them, have a girl that like there's no need for them to really commit. Women want men to invest in them. So like in terms of expectations, I think there should be like a general kind of standard, not in terms of money, because I don't know how we would qualify it, but like if you are interested in someone, like you will invest your time, your energy, your resources into this person. And if you're not investing in them in that way, then they're probably not interested. But then I again, like it's easier said than done, right? Like
it's tough. I mean, like there's a movie called He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah, he's just not
just about that.
Exactly. And the same thing can be for women. Like, you don't want men to like waste their time, like putting all this time and energy into a woman who's like clearly shown she's not interested either. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's hard. So I think it's like a case by case thing, maybe.
I think sometimes certain women, I could say this, like they don't really handle rejection really well. So I've been called like names when I wasn't interested. It's like, oh, something wrong with you if you're not interested in me. Like I was
Yeah,
called names
clearly.
before, like, oh, you must be gay then if he's not interested in me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I think
I
I
got that one.
I think it's some
I've
shit
got that
like,
one
wait,
before,
what?
yeah.
Like, you know, because us guys be like, all right, not interested. All right, you know what I mean? We just go on. They'll let you know if they're not interested. You're just like, all right, well, let's move on, I guess. You know. Sometimes it's a game to us. Sometimes maybe we might still keep pursuing and just kind of like keep within the boundaries. But
Yeah.
I think for the most part, like when girls get it, you guys don't take it too well. Is that true in that sense? You know, am I wrong or am I just talking shit or is that legitimately true?
I've heard it both ways. I mean, I've heard of girls saying that they rejected a guy or saying they were not interested and he calling them a bitch or saying they're ugly and walking
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I've experienced it. Girls have said, like I said, no, I'm not interested. Like, oh, what do you like men? And it's like, damn, like you think you're that much of this shit that I must be gay because I don't want to be with you. It's like, fuck that. I mean,
Like, damn, for
I
real?
mean,
Like, get off
I
your
think
high
it's just a
horse.
brittle ego. It's just a brittle ego, you know.
Yeah.
They believe that they conjured up all this courage to come talk to you, and then you know you reject them. They're just like they're angry, so like fuck off, you know.
Fuck off. But
Whatever,
I don't
man.
know. I think I'm just weird. Like I just already assume that they don't. You know,
It's
that
like
they're
it's like
not interested, and I feel like I need a
expecting the
lot of
worst.
reassurance.
No, honestly, like a lot of people do that. They expect
Yeah,
the worst. So
expect
when
the
the
worst.
worst does happen, you're like, oh, I saw this coming anyway. So it
Yeah.
softens the
It's a
blow.
defense
You know?
mechanism.
okay, yeah, it's a good defensive mechanism, I guess.
Yeah,
I
it
go
is.
in there thinking like, man, hey, man, I don't think that at
Because you
all.
don't want to
Like,
set your hopes up. You don't. I
nah,
mean,
it don't
Yeah.
matter.
done that, and I've met girls who I didn't think I was gonna get, and then you're just so happy and you're gonna date with them, and they turn out to be, you know, psychopaths. You know, and just like, damn, she's so fucking pretty and she's crazy. It's like, how this is why she's single. Okay, this is why she's single, and it's like shit, you know. So it's a trip, man. And then
What
there's
makes
girls
it
who are like
crazy, though?
average,
Like what
you
makes
know,
someone crazy?
like
Yeah.
like wanting too much too fast. Like, you know, first date talking about kids or first date talking about like you can tell she's someone desperate for like
Oh,
for
yeah.
that like she wants to skip from A to C, you know, to get that love already. Like, you know, it's not gonna happen that fast.
I have a
Calm
question.
down. Yeah.
But I mean, don't you think there should be kind of a conversation where you guys are on the same page at least? Like, I don't personally, for me, like, I don't want to invest in someone who doesn't see themselves like being in a committed relationship. Like, if they
I
just
think-
want to, I'd rather just like shift through the person who just wants to like hardcore remain single, play the game, blah blah blah.
I think it's a bigger issue. So I've been reading this book, and it talks about the fear of wanting to be happy. Okay, so you think about it, like they found the actual steps and the actual way of living to be actually happy as a being, as a human being, right? And it's nothing to do with how we live nowadays. Like it's no technology really. It's living more off the land, off, you know, doing your own farming and being surrounded by people you love and doing something you're actually in love with doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that 99% of us don't want to do, but we still want happiness. When you ask somebody what they want out of life, happiness is usually one or second thing that they say. I want to be happy, right? So then you tell them like, oh, okay, well then throw away your cell phone, throw away your computer, don't go back to work. And I got this nice cabin out in the woods, man. It's a farm right next to it. You can get all your fruit, but you have to work for it. And then, you know, you have the people you want to love. No, hell no, I don't want to do that shit. You know, I still want to get on Instagram. So it's like same thing with dating, right? We just want the outcome. And when you just want the outcome, you never think about how to get to that outcome or how it's going to get to that outcome. So it's hard for you to manifest that. It's like if you want a certain type of career, right? you can't manifest the end goal because it just doesn't happen overnight. You have to manifest the steps towards it. So
but you need to know the end goal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like the only way to know the end goal is through the steps. Like you can have a perceived outcome, right? But it'll never be that outcome because you don't know what happens between it. So it's the same thing with dating. If we always think I want a person who's going to be loving, trusting, blah, 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 and all these things, like we don't know what this person has gone through, right? So you're right. We do need to have a conversation, but I think being afraid of not finding those things in each other, finding what we're looking for in the traits of people, that's mostly what we're doing. When we're going on dates, we're so afraid that this person that we're trying to invest this time in may not have what we're looking for. We're more afraid of that than afraid of, let's just have a fun conversation, let's have a fun evening, and let's enjoy the moment with just being two people, right?
Yeah.
People rarely ever do that anymore. They're afraid of, I just met this girl. She is pretty, man, but maybe this. Ah, shit, I'm nervous. Maybe this. And then we start to reflect on ourselves. Okay, I hope I don't fuck up. Hope I don't say anything stupid. Hope I say the right thing. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I found that if you just go into it like, you know what, this is an experience. I just met this person. I have nothing invested. I'm not have anything to lose except for maybe $40 for the night. Let me go into it, see what she's about, see what she's going, what's in her head, what's her life about and what she's going. And that right there will give me enough evidence or enough proof to know which way, if I want to go further or if I just want to say, let's just stay friends or, whatever, let's go.
I agree to an extent. I do think that you should allow uncertainty to kind of play so you can actually experience the person that you're with and there isn't that like pressure, right? But at the same time, okay, let's say you're going to a club. Let's say you're a dude, you're going to the club with your boys. You mean to tell me when you go to the club with your boys, it's not at the back of your mind like, ooh, I hope I kill tonight. Ooh, I hope I don't meet a woman that like I can, have sex with. There are guys who like that's their objective, right? And then they might meet a woman and they like might have that like that uncertainty dance, but at the back of his mind, he knows what he's looking for. And he's looking for someone who also is looking for that too. And then like the dance, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I want a relationship, I don't know if you're going to be the person I'm dating, like long term, but I just want us to be like on the same kind of wavelength. So like,
well, I was saying, my Aunt Geneva told me once is that you'll never find a wife or a husband at 2 a.m. at night.
That's facts.
So if you go into a club looking for a husband, and you're picking at the wrong litter. So
no, that's facts.
Yeah, my boy said that a while ago.
if you go to a club and you so happen to meet a guy and you guys so happen to go home and have sex, I would say it would be against your odds to think that this guy is looking for something more than that. It's just it's just that thing. Yeah. No,
you're right. But I think the whole point is just like, we all have intentions or expectations or like objectives that we have. And we also put ourselves in certain situations in order to achieve those fucking objectives.
You know what it is? It's when you're single and you're going to a place where it's highly social, like you always in the back of your mind want to meet that person there.
Yeah.
No matter where it is, it could be in strip club for all I care. It's like, I've been to strip clubs. I'm like, man, maybe the one, she's just there because she's down on her luck. I need to pay for her school. And I'm the guy that she needs. In the back of my mind, it's in there, but that's not reality. You know what I'm saying? But it's a social place, and I'm pretty sure people at these protests, to bring it up, I'm pretty like, maybe I'll meet the girl of my dreams. They were both protesting, and the tear gas hits me and I fall into her and
yes!
First fight, but if you're single, that just happens. It's in the back of your mind always. It's like, every time I go to the grocery store, I've been taught from my grandmother, she's Russian, 100%. They don't go anywhere without looking good. Even if I go to the grocery store during quarantine, I make sure that I still look good because I may just reach for the
even with the mask though. Damn.
For the eyes. That's what
it's just, oh shit,
Y'all crazy.
You just never know. So it's that social thing, but and I think it's just in us.
True.
It's innate. You know, we go to the club. It's like hopefully, maybe I might be that lucky person. Go on Tinder. Maybe I might be that lucky person.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hopeful. It's beautiful. But
And you know what makes you realize they're not that person? The lack of effort and being a lazy dater.
yeah. Well, men are pretty straightforward, man. If we are interested in you, then we will show that you were interested. We will fight for you. We will fight to be in your presence. We will fight to have your attention in our own ways. And we'll show in our own ways the efforts of trying to stay around and be in your life, basically. That's the effort we'll show. If we're not showing that shit, then, you know, you're either a side piece or,
So my
like
question
Dante
is,
was saying, that we just still kind of like want to play the game with you, get our ego boost here and there sometimes. But
so how do you decipher between that and like breadcrumbing a girl because you just don't want to give too much too soon?
well, like I said, with the breadcrumbs, they have to be meaningful. They have to be something
Oh.
that's memorable. Yeah, it just can't be some old bullshit. Like each breadcrumb, it has to be meaningful, but that destination has to be bigger than the breadcrumbs. So she has something to always continue to look
Okay.
forward to. So
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a great answer, actually. But,
Well, I mean, I hope to find a wife in the. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to find a wife.
You know, you never
You're
know.
gonna be in the clubs at 82, man.
I don't care what anyone tell me. I find them anywhere. Never know. You know, it might be one of those scenarios where she never goes to the club ever. She just gets dragged out by her homegirls.
You know what? I think, Dante, you're gonna meet a girl who's just like you.
yeah.
And you guys are gonna be in a whirlwind, just trying to play the same game with each other until y'all
Yeah.
realize y'all doing
Yeah.
it, and then y'all just gonna fall head over heels. I'm like, damn,
Damn,
never thought I'd find you.
it's
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's I've had to take some of my own medicine already by many women. Well, not many, but few of them that did hit me. I'm like, man, now I know what that feels like on the other end. I felt someone that was just as bad as I am. So I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks. I've been down that road. But you know, I mean, lazy dating to me, I don't know, man. I think it's for people. I always kind of link it. I can even go into another bracket, dating experience. There's people who are very more experienced than others, more seasonal than others. They kind of know what to do. You know, they know the play-by-play book, so they're used to dating. Oh, yeah, this is what you do. Da da da. You go to the honeymoon stage. All right, cool. Now, is there a difference between someone who's like the non-experienced? Can a non-experienced be considered a lazy dater if they just don't know how to go about it? Because you get some people who may not just not know or may not be too seasonal experience, because compared to someone who's been like in and out of relationships 5-6 years in, you know, been married, whatever case may be, but they might not know their history. They might put them in the same bracket as like, okay, he ain't shit, or she ain't shit, or whatever case may be. He just, you know, whatever. Does that come hand in hand with that too?
Like, I don't know, because even when I was inexperienced in dating, I remember there was this guy. I was 18 years old. I had the fattest crush on him, and he lived 2 hours away from me. On the day of his, and I didn't have a car at this time either. On the day of his birthday, somehow I finessed a ride all the way to his house, bought him a cake, bought him balloons, asked him if he would come hang out with me. He did, and I surprised him with like all these goods, right? And I was like, "Here's your stuff, blah 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 blah." I didn't understand the game. I didn't understand anything. All I knew was I liked this person, and I wanted to show him that I liked him. And so I feel like even if you're inexperienced, you will, in some ways, show that person that they mean something to you, like regardless. And if you don't do that, I think it's because it's like what you said earlier, like maybe you're just not that interested in that person, because that's how I would interpret it for like on my end.
I've been on
I've done crazy things. Like
I think everybody has been too nice at one point. Like I've done that. I've bought gifts and showered my love when I was really young. Like I'll just pour out my heart on a piece of paper and give it to them, and then just get nothing back for it. And that happened a few times to where you kind of learn that you can't, hence the breadcrumbs and everything. scenario. So like I learned my lesson through times, but what baffles me is sometimes dealing with women. I can't speak for all of them, but the ones I've dealt with, sometimes they'll show a lack of interest in action, but then when they say is totally different. And I've seen this several times, and so I've asked like actual like really close female friends and family members, and like, is this real, or is they shitting me? And for the census, all of it is real. Like it was a big eye opener. Like women aren't the same as men. As men show effort and they show that they like you through action.
Yeah.
Like straight up through action. We'll do shit for you, buy shit for you, man. I'm there for you, man. And women usually show it through word of mouth. And it struck me as really weird because I just wasn't used to that. I was like, well, man, to me, word can be misconstrued. She can be fucking lying,
Yeah.
And so like it always weirds me out when a girl is somewhat showing distance or lack of interest, and then if I do that, then they get on me for it. And then I tell them like, dude, were you doing this? And they were like, well, that's not how I feel. I still feel this and still feel that. And that was always a real jarring experience to me. And I can't ask for women to show effort in action more just because that's not how you guys roll. But it's just one of those things I want to tell men out there that, a woman will tell you, and you'll see signs. If she's not interested anymore, like everything will line up. Like her actions and her words will start to line up. She won't talk to you anymore. She won't text you that much anymore. She won't do certain things anymore for you. A lot of things will start to be a little bit different. And I've seen this recently, and it's just like, it's up to the man. It's at that point, it's like, okay, well, you can either hold on to that memory of when everything was more effort, everything was more interest, everything was seen more, or you can start to go your own way. And it's funny, I've seen it with other friends and stuff. It's like when the guy starts going all his way, that's when the lady changes her mind, and I still remember, I got so much information from my grandparents stuff, and it's like, and this goes both ways. And I think I told Kylie this a long time ago. It's like people will only know what they had once they miss it. Once you don't show them how great you were for them, that's when they start to actually realize what they're letting go.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people let go of shit out of fear, anger. It could be a cornucopia
bunch of reasons,
of shit. Yeah, just a whole bunch of shit, right? But it's always situational. It's never a long-term thing. And I think a lot of people do that, and they break away from these friendships, relationships, and marriages and shit like that without really fully thinking about it and letting it evolve. And then what happens? They always come back. They always come back and go, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I was doing this, going through this. So, like, it's hurtful, I think, a lot for men when they start to see girls lack because it's something that they're not used to, you know what I'm saying? But with men, like I said, we're very direct, man. If we are interested in you, we'll show it, Sometimes we might not show it the same way. But, I've been a victim of that. I wasn't able to show, like I've had females who buy me stuff and I never asked for it. And I would get upset, and tell them, don't, stop buying me shit. It's too much. I can't afford to buy because I got rent. You don't have to pay all that shit. I have all these bills. I can't afford to buy you shit. So I can only show you through physical means and, through emotional and spiritual. They always don't. They're like, hey, that's fine with me. As long as you can show me physical means, then, we're good. They don't ever want me to buy stuff for them. So I feel that. But, man, it's like when things start to change, that's when you start to know the effort is starting to wane here and there. And it's up to you to make that choice. You can stick there and weigh it through, and see if, they swing back through your way, or you can just keep moving forward and find somebody who actually puts in that effort. Because, let's be real. If you really want something, if you really cherish something, you really care about something, you're going to put your time and effort into it. You're going to invest into it, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people invest and put time and love into inanimate fucking objects more than they do the person that's living and they sleep next to.
That's true.
It's fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. I've had fellas who spend up to $6,000 on their fucking car they won't buy their girlfriend or their wife $100 pair of whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So to me, it's like, you know, if you,
Yeah.
it's one of those things like, man, put your money where your mouth is. Like if you say you care, you say you love, you say you cherish this and that, then show it. I don't care, woman or man, just show it. Everybody will react to more action than they will words. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's better just to show it. So that's my 2 cents.
I full-heartedly.
That's more than 2 cents. Sound like,
Yeah,
it was a whole
that was
What do you think, Kylie?
million dollar knowledge you were dropping over here, man. Dropping that. You've been reading, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
You've been reading during these times, huh?
bit.
You know, philosophical on me, man. Okay, all right, that's what's up, man.
What does
I
Kylie
guess it's
think?
kind of harder to do that now because of shelter in place. You know, you can't really like show people with actions because you're all just,
Makes sense, yeah.
you know, talking online and texting each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that does make sense. Like maybe when this is over and when people could actually meet up in
Well,
person.
I don't know if you guys seen the meme I thought it was funny, was they said, what was that shit? It was like, if your friend gets mad at you by saying you don't keep in contact through the quarantine, they're not really your friend. It's not all about you type shit. Something like that.
I saw that.
I saw it and I thought that was funny, and I was like, that's a real good cop out for the people who are actually trying to be distant. It's like, because through a time of crisis, you want your friends and your family the closest. You want to make sure people are cared for. You want to make sure people are okay. You want to converse more. We have all the time in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing throughout the most of the day? It's like you can converse. If you don't have shit to talk about, then that's fine. Like I said, you know, you can always keep things interesting if you guys are close, you care about each other. You know, like Kylie said, you can't physically do anything, go see each other, shit like that. But you can show through text, videos, shit like that. You know, it's easy. It's not that hard.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is going to end on my live stream on Instagram soon. I think. I'm going off the time that I started.
8:30.
Because I had some issues with some connections on my. That's why I was kind of quiet. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure it out. I was listening to you guys. So I was like, all right, cool. All right. But it's fixed now. But before we end, guys, anything you guys want to add to this? Because I know we kind of winged it today, but we did a really good job winging it, I think.
Good job, team.
You know, like, you know, it was good. I appreciate you guys coming on, man.
Sometimes it works.
You know, it's good to hear you guys' knowledge. I heard some people say some comments on here. Appreciate the comments on here. Someone said, I would hug you if I could. To Alpha Monk. Gabe said that. So you were saying some really good stuff.
No hugs from you and Shirley. Okay.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Or Dante.
Oh.
Only Mondre.
Only Mondre.
Mondre's the only one. He was killing it today. He was on point today.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
There will be an after show, so I'm not sure if you guys want to hop on for the post show or not. We'll probably add some people on here. I think someone who wants to go on an episode, I'll put them on. But again, appreciate you guys coming on. Stay tuned to the post episode. Yeah, that's probably end soon. But yes, I'm gonna get some shirts for you guys soon. Still gonna happen soon. It's still out there.
I have my shirt, but I cut it so it'll be a crop top, but then I wash it and it like shrunk, so it's like here.
That's okay.
Like too high.
That's okay.
Put it into those shirts, and she did that. She had
Give him a show. We get more people that would.
Like I can like lift my arms with it on.
She had a limited edition color that I gave her. She had the limited edition gold color.
Yeah, it was nice. I was impressed. Actually, let me go grab it and show you.
But all right, guys. So
it was nice and she cut it.
I appreciate you guys coming on. The thing just ended. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, right on.
Oh, it's so cute.
But that just ended. So I'm gonna end this.
Man.
Stay tuned for the next episode, guys. Boom. All right. Thank you. See you next time, guys. Yeah. Let me close this. All right. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, this is going on. This is Dante from the Y Day Podcast, the host, and hope you guys like our content on the last episode. And just letting you guys know that we are going to be posting everything on our website, www.ydaypodcast.com.
And for all the information, you can go on here. I know if you guys already looked on the video, it's on YouTube. YouTube episodes are on here. Everything on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all that is on there. Now, another thing we also are giving out for a lot of listeners who's been listening for a while, we actually have a Patreon. So a Patreon account, if you donate, it's a $5 tier of $5 a month. What we're going to be giving you is some exclusive content, which is going to have 30 to 45 minute Q&A before the episode. So if you guys, we typically have a guest speakers on there.